Races chosen because primitive. Teenagers on their way at school. Friday night football, drugs on. White girl, black boy, give it up. Got pulled over by undercover. Little white trash, big toe stop. But that's my boyfriend. When we stop, pay vacation. But on camera again. Hey, jump shout. What if people jump shout? What if people jump shout? Jump shout. Jump shout.
Gardner was your son, Mike Brown was your nephew, how would you feel, sir?
Yeah, it's a terrible feeling, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you catch some awareness to what's going on in this town, you know? It's a travesty, man. You know what I'm saying? Our black man is the fall of earth, man, and it's hurting all of us. All of us.
Okay, everybody, that was a wonderful song by the Cotton Pickers featuring Solwana Family and Fleetwood called Your Child. And we are honored to have Brother Fleetwood in the building with us today. Welcome to the Let's Talk Life show, Brother Fleetwood.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm honored to be here. You know, I couldn't think of a better place to be right now.
All right. I know you're all over town. You're in Vegas, Cali. You know, we're trying to catch up with you, Fleetwood. Okay.
Just planting seeds, you know, planting seeds, putting water on them, and keeping the weeds out from around what's going to grow. You know?
I love that. Well, we're happy to have you back here in AZ. And before we get into a little bit about you and your movement and what you have going on, we're going to sip a little tea.
Okay.
And the tea that we're sipping today is this woman is saying she's going to give back the money that she took as a bribe for saying she didn't sleep with the president.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about that news?
Yeah, the porn star.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, the money she's going to give back is just a down payment on what she's going to get in the future. Because as long as, like, we talking now, she's going to make money. Mm-hmm. So she's just trying to keep her fire lit, you know, mm-hmm. and she's trying to show, you know, a human side to, you know, who she is, you know. So that's to me, that's mm-hmm. how I look at it. She's mm-hmm. looking at all publicity as good publicity.
Right.
And they saying my name, so whatever I got to do to keep them saying my name, I'm going to do.
For sure. I feel like in this day and age, everybody's always trying to capitalize off an opportunity.
Definitely.
They're opportunists, so she's seizing the moment. And, you know, it reminds me of like Bill Clinton, all these presidents that, you know, are having infidelity issues. And it's like, okay, so is it the same because it's way before he was ever in office, you know, or is it different? Or
I mean, it's all the same. I mean, politicians are professional liars. You know, that's what the P stands for, professional liar. You know, they only come around when they want you to vote for them or sell some dope for them, in my opinion. But, you know, it is what it is, ain't what it ain't. And she's going to continue to keep her fire lit, like I said, probably to sell a book.
Mm-hmm. Come out with a tell-all book.
Right, because right now, the public might think they know what happened, but mm-hmm. until she tells it all,
right.
is when they gonna really know what happened. So
this was just kind of like a teaser.
That's
just
all.
Makes you want to know more.
That's all. And she probably know a whole lot more than we could even imagine.
Exactly. And speaking of tell-all books, Mr. Fleetwood, you have written a very controversial book. And I just want to set a disclaimer that, you know, these are the views of my audience, my guests. I can't be liable and responsible. I don't know about what exactly the scandal is, but your book is called
Hip Hop Tried to Kill Me.
Hip Hop Tried to Kill Me.
Yeah.
We got to know about the lowdown. What happened, Fleetwood? What happened?
Well, you know, I chose that title because, you know, for one reason, what don't kill you in life will make you stronger. Mm-hmm. And it was the best way at the time that I could describe my journey in the music business mm-hmm. and what I had went through, and, you know, what a lot of people deal with. But mine was an autobiography about my journey.
Right.
You know, the steps I took on my path. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a lot of darkness in the game, you know, that's full of bright lights. A lot of darkness, you know, and a lot of things come with it, you know. They say fame has a price. But some bills I ain't never paid.
Right. Now, so tell me just a little bit about your background and like what you did in hip hop and how your whole journey, just like a short version.
So to make a long story short, I started rapping in the early '80s when crack hit, and I was a reporter in my community about the impact crack cocaine was having.
Where you from?
I was from San Francisco, Oakland, the Bay Area. I also grew up in North Carolina, back and forth my whole life. So I became a reporter for the impact that crack cocaine was having, after that, I became a author, a filmmaker, and all that developed me into a community activist. So my thing is about my legacy now. What am I going to leave? What is going to be my contribution to humanity? And what can I do to contribute to the liberation of my people?
Ooh, I love it, Fleetwood. I love it. We support your movement over here at Let's Talk Live.
I appreciate it.
So just kind of tell me about that and like how you started off as a hip hop artist and now you've developed yourself into a director, an author, and a community activist. Just kind of go over the journey with us.
Well, I started writing because, I've been a storyteller my whole life. I've always been telling stories. And my pen was bleeding at a young age in English class. I never really understood the pronouns, adverbs, and all that, but I was a storyteller. So I used to write stories, and the teacher told me, that was powerful and encouraged me to continue to write. So rap came along, and that's when I started rapping, and like I said, I became a reporter. My raps turned into stories about the violence, about the abandonment in the black household, about police brutality, about how it was like they was recruiting people for prison in my neighborhood,
Right.
So that's what my raps were about at the time, and still to this day. Ice Cube was my favorite rapper. I admired his penmanship. I admired his business sense because Cube stepped up and said that y'all didn't pay me, and I'm not finna be a part of NWA no more. Even though I wrote the whole album besides MC Ren part. Then I watched Cube go on to Storm Boys in the Hood, and then go on Storm Friday, and then direct Friday. So that's when I got the aspiration that, hey, if I can write a rap, I can write a movie script. If I can write a rap, I can write a book. If I can write a rap, I can write a business proposal. I can write a grant. Ice Cube, inspired me, to do that. Let my pen bleed in many other ways.
Shout out to Ice Cube.
No doubt.
He had really pioneered the game for so many people, and he is a great business model, a great example of how you can turn your craft into a lucrative, successful business that you can pass down as your legacy, which he has done with his son. And shout out to Ice Cube. If you ever want to come on the Let's Talk Live show, we'll be happy to have you.
Oh, we're going to get him on there.
Yeah.
And one thing, I like to commend Cube for, he been with the same woman from the jump, never been in no trouble, nothing, you know what I'm saying? And he about his business. And he
like the president.
And he still keep it revolutionary, even though he might make some Are You Home Yet, or, different type of films. He loves his people.
Yeah.
So I love him and LeBron for that. They in a position of power, and they using it as a means to make it better for us, our liberation of our people. I think Muhammad Ali will be proud of them brothers. So just a few, But so that's what inspired me to expand my pen, because I seen that it was possible. I seen what Cube did, So it got to a point where I was rapping and producing, and I didn't want to be wasted talent. I knew that I just didn't get this for nothing. So I said, let me write a book about my journey. At least I can become an author, and then at least people know, some of my accomplishments, and also they can get inspired by some of my failures. So that was the purpose of hip hop tried to kill me. Today we're looking to put it on the small screen, hopefully get it turned into a TV series.
And tell us a little bit about your documentary or some of the films that you made.
Okay, well, my first documentary, after I wrote the book, I wrote 3 more books, and then I said, hey, it's time for me, because I started writing and rapping because I wanted people to hear what I had to say, because I knew I had something to say, and I wanted them to hear me. But as I watched Cube, I said, hey, people remember what they hear, but they believe what they see. So now it's time for me to let them see what I'm saying. So I said, okay, let me do a movie, but I didn't know nothing. I had never went to film school, nothing like that. But I had wrote the treatments and everything for all my videos in my rap career. So I went and got with the crew who did it. I told them what I wanted to do, and they said, well, right now, the budget that you need for a movie you don't have, so let's just do a documentary. So I went out searching for a documentary film, a story, you know, through my hood and seeing what I could see. And I didn't find nothing. And people were infatuated with where I was from, the Bay Area. So I said, well, hey, I got to find something that infatuates me because I know it's going to be phenomenal.
Right.
So I was at work one day and I read an article about a high school girl basketball team, how these girls from the hood were using basketball as a way to catapult a higher learning and to escape the ills of urban America. And as I read it, my heart started beating, and then I started crying a little bit. I said, this is my story right here. I got in touch with the person who wrote the article. He put me in touch with the coach, and then the coach set up a meeting with the team. They was impressed. They was appreciative that I wanted to do a story about them. So that was my first documentary film. You know, it's called I Just Want to Ball. It's how girls using basketball to get out the hood. Then after that, I did a follow-up documentary called A Cotton Picker about a man in Alabama. He picked cotton for 18 years doing sharecropping, never got paid, and he left the South and migrated to California. So it's about the con game after slavery called sharecropping, and it's based on why did blacks leave the South. You know, because no slave ships came to Chicago, New York, or California. We all, as African Americans, we migrated from the South, and we migrated to different areas of the United States, depending on what part of the South that you were in. Like if you was in Florida and Georgia, you went to New York, Philly, and D.C. You was in Mississippi and Alabama, you went to Chicago, Detroit, and Gary, Indiana. If you was in Texas and Louisiana, you came out west. So that's why I did that, you know, to start a discussion with the youth and the elders.
Very nice, Fleetwood. We're going to get a little bit more into like your movement and how you turned all this into community activism.
Definitely.
So we'll be back on the next segment of Let's Talk Life after this.
Definitely.
Okay, and welcome back to this segment of Let's Talk Life with Leticia Latrice, the Princess of Phoenix. I'm here with my guest, Fleetwood, who is a rapper, author, and a director. And so you really just were going over all of the wonderful accomplishments that you've, made just by, turning your gift and craft as a rapper into more. And so just kind of explain like now what you're doing in the community and how you're using it as a form of activism and, just to educate and empower and inspire the community.
Well, my thing is nothing in life will change unless you do. That's my motto, and that's what I tell people, So my thing is I've been inside the belly of the beast. I've been behind them walls. I did 16 years of my life in somebody's jail or juvenile hall or prison. So I created the Homeboy Hotline, which is a website where you can find resources to help you transition from any form of incarceration upon your release. And I started that 15 years ago in San Francisco. Now we're in 7 states. And
how do you get a hold of the hotline?
Well, you just go to homeboyhotline.org, and it has my direct phone number on it. And like I said, it has resources. You can go across where it says resources per state, and you click on that on the menu. We got 7 different states. You find resources for housing, resume preparation, employment. I have employers that's willing to hire somebody with a felony. We have resources to help you get your license back, to deal with past child support, legal issues, and we also have support groups, on there, to deal with some of the traumatization that comes with being incarcerated. And so that's my that's my contribution to the liberation of my people. And I hope one day to have a building, a one-stop shop where people can come and they can get, job training, resume preparation and learn computer skills and get job leads and this thing, type of thing. But for right now, I just wanted to create something that still was helpful. And I still get calls to this day, mostly from mothers and wives, looking to, I need something, baby, that can help my son or my daughter when they come home, and I heard about you.
Yeah.
So, information is powerful.
For sure.
So, because my whole thing is we are a sign on the road to redemption. Usually the first 72 hours is when you make it or break it. because you know, promise yourself, you promise God, you promise your family, wrote all them little letters and all that stuff, but now you out. And it's like, man, I got to do something to fulfill my promises. And when you don't, that's when, you know, the addiction kicks back in if you had any kind of drug problems, or you just, you know, especially if you're a father and you come home to your family and you can't provide, that's when you leave and don't come back. Because, you know, there's more toilet paper getting used and more toothpaste and all the lovey-dovey honeymoon stuff will go out the window in a little bit. You know, it's time for, hey, man, when you going to bring something? You say, you know, honey, I'm going to this job training thing, but you go to a job training thing for 6 weeks, they not paying you. Feel me? So my thing is, oatmeal is better than no meal. That's my motto. I can help you get a job, probably at a temporary agency or somewhere in a warehouse or something, and you can go to that job training too. But let me help you put some bread in your pocket that can make you feel like you worthy. You know what I'm saying? Let me help you provide for yourself a little bit. Let me give you a little kickstart to keep your momentum going that you're coming out them doors with. So that's my whole thing, is just to keep the fire lit and do what I can. And since I've been in Arizona, I went to Adobe Mountain School, which I heard they did close down, but it's a juvenile prison. I went up in there 3 times and talked to them. And my whole thing, like I said at the beginning of my, just, you know, when I start talking about this community activism that I do, is just to let them know that change is possible. You know, I let them know that I got scars mentally, physically, and spiritually. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, a soldier gets scars in the war of life.
For sure.
But you can change if you want to change, but ain't nothing gonna change until you change. You know, and that's really what it breaks down to. Like, you know, you don't have to stop hustling, just change the product in the sack and keep on hustling. You know, America is built for a hustle. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, if it's illegal 9 times out of 10, you're going to go to jail sooner or later. You know, even the smoothest criminal get caught. Michael Jackson made a song about that. So, you know, if you ain't a politician, you know, sooner or later they're going to wrap you up like a Christmas present. You know what I'm talking about? So, that's what I try to explain to them. Hey, man, don't stop hustling. Just change the product, baby. Keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? You can sell crack and dope. You can sell real estate and cars and insurance. You can sell clothes. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know.
T-shirts.
You can sell some T-shirts, you know. The truth is in the pudding is in the truth, you know. So I just try to, my whole thing, sister, is, you know, what I want them to say is the dude was a source of inspiration. That's all I try to inspire people. You know, I can't be Michael Jordan. I can't be Lil Wayne. I can't be none of them other people, but I can be Fleetwood, and I'm proud of who I am, cause the definition of a person's character ain't defined until they fall. Everybody can't and don't get up. I've been falling my whole life, but I'm still standing. I keep getting up, and that's what all I tell people, man. Look at me. You can get up no matter what you've been through. I done been through it, partner. You know, I've been through it like Sharma. Sharma, you know, I've been through it. You feel me? And that's why I wrote Hip Hop Tried to Kill Me with, I didn't water it down. I told them everything about me because I want them people to understand who God has shaped me to be through my trials and tribulations. And I'm still not perfect because ain't nobody perfect but a hypocrite. You feel me? So my whole thing is to inspire people. If that's all I can do, then I feel as though I done did a great thing with my life that God continues to give me to, you know, breathe another day. So through my music, through my books, through my film, and through my community activism, that's the definition of who that I strive to be, and that's a source of inspiration.
Well, Fleetwood, I would like to myself personally thank you for being a contributor to this world and for trying to make a difference and a change in people's lives, because I feel like so many people are lost today, especially people like you're saying that are coming out of prison, that are just trying to transition back into life and their families and things like that. It's a struggle, and there's really not a lot of resources or people out holding their hand saying, let me help you through this process and through this transition. First, because we love you and we care, but second, to prevent you from going back.
Right.
Going back to the same things you were doing, back to the same mentality, back to prison.
Right.
And so you providing hope and inspiration, and first of all saying, hey, look, I've been there, done that.
Right.
You're not somebody coming from the city or the state or whatever trying to give them a little 5-week class on how to get back into the world, and somebody who doesn't really care, somebody who doesn't really know what the struggle and the process is. You have a testimony. You traveled that world. You've been there.
Definitely.
You know, so people can look to you and respect you for your journey. But that's what I like. I don't like people who have been through things and then they just like wither away and die. You know, share your journey. Tell people what you did so they can't do what, you know, so they'll avoid the things that you did to
Right.
get you where you went. You
Right,
know,
right.
you have to give back and you have to show people that there's another way.
Definitely.
If you've gone the wrong way in the past, do your part by showing people, look, that was the wrong way. Let me help you the right way. Okay, I just had to say that because I felt inspired.
Well, I'm glad that I could inspire you, and I appreciate, you know, what you said, because it was real, you know. It's not easy when you get out of prison, and everybody don't want to help you, you know. I think everybody in this world done did something wrong, but, you know, everybody ain't got caught, you know what I'm saying? So, but you know, I don't condemn, you know, crime, and I definitely don't condemn, you know, I don't condone, I mean,
Right.
I don't condone no sort of crime against no child, you know, and I don't think murder is cool. I don't think nobody has the right to kill nobody, you know, and domestic violence ain't cool, you know. But selling drugs, you know, narcotics ain't cool. But I mean, in the
didn't kill anybody.
In the 80s, it was what it was. You know, it was systematically put into urban America, you know, for a reason. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
we're not going to quite get into that
today. Yeah.
But that is true, is the fact that, you know, there was a law passed during the Clinton administration that would cause somebody to go to prison for, you know, a certain amount of grams or whatever,
right.
a minimal amount of drugs,
right.
which really, you know, raised the amount of, you know, people that were being arrested and put into jail, specifically minorities, okay? And so, you know, and that's the thing that I love that you just said, because at the end of the day, we can all go back into history and figure out the things that have caused us to be where we are today.
Right.
But what are we going to do to move forward, and
right.
what are the solutions that we're going to put in place to help us rise above and be moving forward to get out of this, you know, cycle of the generational curses, shall I say. So having said that, is that I love when you said, look, switch up your hustle. If you were smart enough to make all this money, because at the end of the day, I realize what happened with the drug epidemic is the fact that a young man is going to want to provide for their family, not see their loved ones struggling. So if there's an easy, quick way, if they're getting shut down, you know, because they don't know how to speak properly, they don't have a resume, maybe they don't have a high school diploma, whatever, you can't get a job at McDonald's or Walmart, you don't want to do all that. So you look to drugs as a lucrative way to, you know, sustain your life.
Right.
However, just like you said, there's nothing but, you know, a trap and penalties at the end of it. You're going to go to jail. It's faster than you can even probably think or imagine.
No doubt.
So, but if you were smart and wise enough to be successful in that, you're smart and wise enough to be successful in your own business, to make a, you know, food truck, to wash cars, have your own detailing company. There's so many different things that you can do. It's like if you have drive, hustle, and ambition, what you did to do illegal things, switch up the hustle to legal.
There you go. That's all it is.
That's all it is. So I do think that, you know, sometimes people lack the self-confidence and they think, I can't do this, I can't do that. Yes, you can.
Well, you know, the whole thing is keep people smarter than you around you. Make sure all your friends are smart.